But I know we're here for Mumia, and I'm really, really thankful for the folks who got Mumia on the phone, because that's the entire point, to bring him out, but to actually have him in community with us. I visited Mumia this morning at SCI Mahanoy, which is like an hour north of Philadelphia, 2 hours north of Philadelphia, an hour north of Allegheny County. And so we're just really trying to make sure that Mumia comes home and is brought out to us, and that we have our eyes on it. For the last year, Mumia's health has been very fragile. Now, there have been moments when Mumia was really ill. So in 2014 and 15, he had chronic hepatitis C, and the world mobilized. The International Concerned Friends and Family mobilized, and people demanded that he get the Hep C cure that was available. So that did happen based on a lawsuit that was litigated by the Abolitionist Law Center, Brett Brody and Bob Boyle. Then Mumia, in 2017, had double bypass surgery for a cardiac condition. Now that meant that when he was discharged from that surgery, he needed cardiac rehabilitation. And cardiac rehabilitation is proper exercise and a diet. Now Mumia has not gotten that at all. The diet is absolutely abysmal. They are mining for the money. They are just paying pennies a day, and they consider it, their dietitians who are licensed, consider it heart healthy. And it is not. So Mumia has been filing grievances, and we've been doing right-to-know requests to document that, but also to document his lack of exercise. As the phone call just noted, as Johanna just asked, they limit Mumia's ability to get out into a yard every single day because they say there are staffing shortages. He just told me this morning there was a lockdown around that pipe breaking. He was locked in his cell. And Mumia's cell, now it might sound large, 11 by 17, but he is 18 inches from one side of the bunk to the wall. And he has 10 feet front to back, but he has a lot of stuff in there. So he has an extremely small amount of area to move in at all. A couple months ago, he is out in the day room a couple times a day. He was able to walk the day room. A couple months ago, they stopped people walking in the day room. If he buzzes out of his cell, he has to go and sit down sedentarily. So there's a very important aspect of our campaign. The bit.ly Mumia-action will give you a list of phone numbers. It matters that we advocate for people to get the proper diet and the proper exercise. That's not the only issues that Mumia has in terms of the cardiac care. Having hepatitis C and having it being untreated gives him a higher percentage of being exposed to liver cancer. So he needs scans, fiber scans, every 6 months, and the prison has not been doing those consistently. He needs treatment for his very serious skin condition, a psoriasis that is so debilitating that he can't sleep at night. That skin condition has to be treated, and he has to have some specialists, and we are advocating that he get treatment for that. So your skin is an organ, and Mumia, when he was having his hepatitis C crisis, we called it an extrahepatic condition, meaning that it was associated with the hepatitis C and it was worsened by that. Well, Mumia's skin condition is so severe that he has scars throughout his entire body. His entire body had open wounds and now is scarred. And when it really gets difficult, it's very leathery and it's like alligator skin, and he itches all the time. He was itching a little today. He's gotten a bit of a bump in that he's taking some medications that are helping a little bit, but this is systemic, and it affects his anemia levels. He has a chronic lack of absorption of iron. He has low hemoglobin. And so I've seen him in the visiting room fall out, literally nod off, not from being tired, but from being weak. And so I go see him every 2 weeks. We're really encouraging people to see him, the Pennsylvania Prison Society people, the lawyers, and the regular visitors, to get in there and see him, to really communicate and reach into him, just like this meeting is doing tonight. it's extremely important that we call the prison, that we advocate for what he needs, and that we communicate directly with Mumia and bring him out in every way that we can. And it matters. Every single thing that we do matters. We've, at Prison Radio for the last 30 years, we have seen community action move mountains. The prison blinks. You know, right now they're turning off their phones because so many people are calling. These actions actually matter. Postcards matter. If they're not sociopaths, and not all of them are, it matters when they're confronted in public meetings. When John Wetzel used to come to Philadelphia, people would confront him. When Laurel Henry, the new director of Secretary of Corrections, makes public appearances, we need to be there, and we need to hold these people accountable, because they are taking a vast amount of our people, and they are taking them away, and then they are commodifying them in every way they can. They are taking their votes, they're taking their representation. For instance, Salim Holbrook, the executive director of the Abolitionist Law Center, which is an amazing group in Pennsylvania, his vote is still in Greene County, where he was incarcerated, even though he's out now for 4 years, and he's the executive director. But because he is a felon, that representation stays in Greene County. So they are commodifying us in so many different ways, our people. And I think that's what we need to do, is keep the bright, white, hot spotlight on. Freedom is the only answer, absolutely. And Mumia sounds good, and Mumia wants us to feel in community, and he chuckles about things. And so often I say to him, I can't believe you're laughing about this. But he's a warm, gracious person, but we cannot forget that he is very fragile right now. He's very ill. We've lost people. Dawoud Lee, we lost Dawoud Lee 2 days ago, 1 day prior to his parole reconsideration. We lost Ed Poindexter. We have to take action so that we do not lose Mumia Abu-Jamal in this moment. And so we need to make it a big campaign in any way you can. Every single thing that people do matters, and we can do it. We can do this if we all collectively take action. So that's what I want to say, and I'll answer questions later, and I'm looking forward to everyone speaking tonight. So this postcard you can send in. We're going to make new ones. When Mumia has a visit, you can go to the vending machines, and there are Mediterranean salads. And when he sees that and he eats that, he says, I don't ever see anything like this inside the prison. He does not get tomatoes or salad. He barely gets fruit. And so the kinds of food that are on his plate is going to create another cardiac event. Okay, you cannot recover from cardiac surgery and cardiac events without the proper diet. And so we're interviewing cooks inside the prison, we're doing right-to-know requests, we're mapping out everything on the plate, we're doing a lot of research. He's done a lot of grievances, he's just exhausted them all. And so now we're planning on, and the Pennsylvania Prison Society in a few weeks is about to release a report about the conditions of the food as well. But these things do matter. So, right to the prisons. And if you go to action, that's great. If you want to give, if you can give, it's really important. When you give, we are able to do more. And also we're able then to keep in connection. Prison Radio has a database that we just sent out an e-blast of 10,000. We have 2,800 people who have given in the last 3 years. That means we're able to connect with people. So even if you give $5, you'll stay on the mailing list for 3 years, and you'll get this kind of swag postcards.
Thank you. Let's give her a big round of applause.